the Monopoly man. Did you know he doesn't have the the glass, the monocle? You know what I'm talking about?
He doesn't have the monocle.
Yeah, yeah. The the
What?
glasses thing. Yeah.
That's crazy. Is that like it's called like the Mandela effect, right? With all that stuff, like
Yes.
where you
Yeah.
think it looks like something.
Hmm.
That's crazy. Kind of like it's like the doesn't Star Wars have one of those where like Darth Vader doesn't say like Luke, I'm your father, something like that. He says something else like no, I am,
Yeah.
something like that. I don't
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
exact quote in front of me, but it's something like that. That's crazy. He doesn't have that's so weird. Like when I think of him, I think of the
Yeah.
big first thing is you think of the big hat, or you think of the big hat, and I pointed his mustache. You think of the big mustache, and you think of the big like top hat, and then the next thing I think of is the eye thing,
Is the yeah.
and he
Yeah.
doesn't have
It's
it.
not there.
That is
Yeah.
so weird. How'd you find that out?
Um. Just the Mandela effect. You'd be
Just
surprised
looking at
what comes
Mandela
up in
effects.
my search. I don't know. What do you call that?
Some of the conversations that we've had
References or
late at
whatever.
night, yeah, some of
Yeah.
the conversations that we've had late at night, I can only imagine some of the stuff that comes across your Instagram, Twitter feed, and stuff like that, or your social media feeds in general. Like the
Hmm.
cube thing. That's awesome, man. All that stuff. But no monocle on the Monopoly guy. I did
On the
not
Monopoly man.
at
Yeah.
all. That's so weird. Because that's like the
Yeah.
first thing that's like one of the first things you think of. That's crazy. But guys, heck of a start to the show this week. This is episode 5 now. We are officially halfway to a what is that? Would you say I mean not a decade. Like is it a deca of shows, right? Is that what 10 is? Deca or
Half decade.
decade?
Decade. Yeah.
We're coming up on so we're halfway to a decade of
Yeah.
shows.
Half a decade. Yeah.
I
Something
don't
like
know.
that.
We could be way
Whatever
off,
it
but
is.
guys,
Yeah.
we are gearing in on Christmas. It is so close, as you see. We had it last week, but we got it here again. The overlay here, all the Christmas stuff as it's coming. We got a lot of Christmas questions coming up in discussion. We're going to talk about Purdue. They've got some really cool news involving a one. I won't spoil it. We'll get to it in a little bit, as well as Steph Curry, some youth sports stuff, Trey. I mean, the refs here, they're having a nationwide shortage. That's
Yes.
pretty interesting story, isn't it?
You know my hot takes on youth sports, so
I
it'll
love it,
be
man.
interesting for
We are going to
sure.
get into all that. You've got to stick around. You got to stick around to see it. And we're going to close it off with Would You Rather, as always. And yeah, we got to post those Q&A questions on our stories. We say it
We
every week.
do
We have got to now, so that way we
every
get our questions
single
because
time.
you guys had the best questions, and we used them for a while and then just ran out and haven't had the chance to post it back. But we will do that again. But for the time being, that's our intro. We're going to get right into the show. All right, man. Like I said, it's Christmas time, so we're gonna get a little Christmassy here. We're switching our background around. Let's see if we can do this. I might totally mess up this. There we go.
There we go.
Yes. I'm gonna take us off screen real quick. Let's do
Santa,
this.
Santa, Santa, Santa.
I want to make sure they can see that it did have a mask. We're covering it, but yeah, that's Santa. Let's go. This is the good one though. Let's get it here. This is the edit Trey made. There we go. That's
Yes,
that's that's Santa. If you ever seen one.
that's the real Santa.
I cannot get
The
over
real,
it. We
not the
said it
fake
last
one.
week. Right, we said it last week, but I cannot get over how long my hair is out the sides of that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I needed a haircut so bad. I'm so glad I got one.
Yeah.
When we moved down here, I went like a total 3 months, something like that, without a haircut. I just let it grow, and I'm never doing that again. Never again. That
Speaking
was
of
a
haircuts, next time you see me, my hair will be braided.
no way. I saw you send me that picture earlier. Yeah, it's gonna look tough, man. I'm excited. We won't spoil it or anything. We'll wait till next episode to see it, but from the pictures that you sent me, they look really good. I'm excited. But our intro here, we're sticking with the Christmas theme, and Christmas is coming. What are you wanting for Christmas, Trey?
Oh man, What am I wanting for Christmas? Honestly, a couple days where I could just relax with my family and take a break. Honestly, I mean, it's nothing too special, but at the same time, that's what Christmas is about.
All
What
right,
about
well,
you?
Trey's gonna give the selfless answer, like the
Yes,
selfless person that he is,
the
and I'm gonna come
boring
in here and be
answer.
selfish. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Santa, if you're listening, which he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, so he's clearly listening. And Santa is a huge fan of the On the Court in the Booth podcast. As you see, he's
Loves
right
it.
behind us there.
Actually
He
loves it.
loves it.
Supports
So
it. Number one
Santa,
supporter.
if you're listening, a PS5 would be really nice. There's all kinds of stuff we could do here. I mean, a camera would be cool. To film some, get some sports filming going. Maybe change the camera angle for the show for me a little bit. I don't know. And then I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, TV. I could do a TV. That'd be cool. So there we go. We got the selfless answer from Trey. I'll come through. I'll be the selfish guy. Way to make me look like the selfish guy here, Trey. Okay. This
Yes,
guy comes through and
exactly.
says his family. Gosh, making me look bad here.
Yeah.
Um, Next one. Best. You have to be selfish on this one. I'm not letting you avoid this one. Best Christmas gift you've ever gotten.
So, again, when we were doing the rundown of the show, I was like, man, Christmas gift. I'm trying to think because I've had a couple really good Christmas gifts, and one that I can think of now that like it's a great story is I'm at my grandparents' house, and it's a Christmas tradition. All the cousins get around the tree after after we eat um, after we eat food. It's time to open presents, and I'm a bit younger then, and it came around to my last present. Okay, and so it's your last present, so you're expecting like, you know what I mean? Like
The boom, right? It's the
it's the
it's the big
boom, it's
one.
the bang. It's like if it's
It's the
fireworks, this
factor,
is
right?
your um,
It's the one that when you
mortars
walk in,
or
everybody's
yeah,
like, "Hey, set this one aside. This is your last present, Trey."
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it is.
yeah. And I pull it out and it's a net. And I think I cried. I cried. I was so devastated that it was like a net, and that's all because it was just like it was a net and it was
You
broke.
do have a selfish side.
And I
Yes.
cried. Yes, yes,
You-
yes. I cried.
what's this net, guys? Really? Is this a prank?
I was so disappointed. And then I realized that it was a net for the goal that my grandparents had outside. So it was a basketball net, and I was fine. I was fine after that, but I thought it was just a regular net.
Then it
Like,
was good.
why is my grandparents giving me rope for Christmas? So after that, I was fine. But like,
What do I need a net for?
yeah, what do I need a
What
net
is
for?
this?
There was a good like 30 seconds of just pure, just like devastation. Like Christmas was ruined. Like, yeah, I turned into Krampus for like a
Christmas
good
was
30 seconds.
ruined.
Yes, yes. I
I
hate
love it,
Santa.
man. I hate Santa.
Yeah,
Gosh. No.
yeah.
Best Christmas gift. I'm gonna say this is a tie. It's a tie between two things. One of which is Nikki last year got me a Packers football that was signed by the entire 2022 team. That was awesome.
That's awesome.
That was
That's such
crazy.
a
Okay, and
Wyatt
here
Williams Christmas gift.
it is. Here's the other one. I'll,
It's
I'll get
such a
it here.
great. That's
It
awesome.
is. Here we go. You ready for this?
Oh my god.
It's a stormtrooper in an Aaron Rodgers jersey. And what's cool about this, there's a little story with it. I don't know. I'm away from my mic, so I don't know if everybody can still hear me. So the story behind it is my parents. So we went to Disney World right before Christmas, like at Thanksgiving, and we went into World of Disney, which is like the huge Disney store in what was downtown Disney, now Disney Springs, and we went in, and this clone. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. A lot of people know that. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. So we
Which
see
is
this
crazy to
clone
me, by the
trooper.
way, because I don't like Star Wars.
I can't believe that.
But go ahead.
I can't believe that. But I see the clone trooper, and I'm like, I want it. Like, I've got to get that. Like, that's so cool. And I didn't have enough money to get it while we were down there. And mom and dad were like, well, just wait. We'll see if Santa brings it. And so a couple months go by. I forgot completely about it. And so Christmas morning, there is like a weird body looking thing in like all wrapped up. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys kill somebody or something? Like what is this? So
Yeah.
I
That would
it's
not be a good
it
Christmas
was
present.
right. It
Like
was
that'd be
the
on the
last
worst Christmas
gift.
present list.
Right. It was the last gift, kind of like your situation. And I start unwrapping it, and everybody's got their phones out. And I open it and I look at it, and while yes, that's a crazy present, I'm like, my parents normally only like recorded the crazy, crazy stuff. You know how you record like the reaction for stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like what are they recording? Like, and I open it and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And they're like, hey, there's a note on the back. Open it up. And so I open the note. I'm like, oh, let's see what this says. And it was tickets to a Packers game at Lambeau Field. And dude, I lost it. I like immediately started crying. I was so excited. And yeah, so there's a pretty good story with this thing. I never even named it. I just kind of feel like you have to name it at some point. Like, it's just like sitting there.
Yeah.
Dude, it scares me sometimes when we come out. Like, it'll be dark and stuff in the morning, and I'll walk out, and it's in the corner of our house, and I'll walk out and just see like the silhouette in the darkness of something. I'm like, whoa, hey, what is it? And then I realize that's what it is, and everything's all good. But yeah, it was an awesome Christmas present. And then we went to Lambeau Field and stuff and watched the game. Packers lost, but still, it was awesome. It was so cool to get to. Have you been to an NFL game?
I have. I have.
What game did you go to?
I've been to multiple games with my grandparents for the Colts.
Awesome,
Yep.
man.
Yep. 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 I'm not as
That's the
big as
only.
I'm not a bit as big as a football fan as this guy is. Which reminds me, I don't know if I told you guys last episode, but he's a Packers fan if you couldn't tell. And
Oh yeah,
so
if you couldn't tell me, let me just grab
when
my.
the whole Aaron Rodgers situation went down,
Oh,
like
don't. Oh, dude,
like if you've ever
it's
been
so
depressed
bad
in your
still.
life, like he was legitimately depressed.
It's so bad, man. Tell you what, since we're talking about it here, I'll go ahead and put on my Packers thinking cap. It's a cheesehead sombrero. Um,
Yeah. What
yeah,
a
it
guy.
was it was it was definitely rough, that whole situation. You texted me and you were like, "What is going on?" And I was like, I don't know, man. I have no clue. Just came out of nowhere. But when you look at it all time, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Every player. There was literally one situation where Jake Camaro was a wide receiver that we had, and Aaron loved him, and he voiced it like publicly in a like post game interview. And then the very next day, the Packers cut him, and it was like, what? Like they've made so many wild moves and stuff, and yeah, I don't know. A lot of people call Aaron a crybaby over the situation, but it's it is what it is. So I hope if we win the Super Bowl this year, I really think we're gonna peep the hat head there. If we win the Super Bowl this year, I think he stays. I really do. But anything short of that, I think my childhood is crushed. Essentially, I mean, absolutely demolished. So there is that. So Aaron, if you're listening, Aaron actually is. Aaron's a huge fan of the On the Court in the Booth podcast.
Aaron
Massive
is
fan.
yeah, just I mean he's hitting us up all the time. Like, can I be on the
Right.
show? And we're like, no, we have
Right.
other guests that we want to bring
We
on before
we
you.
have other guests we want to bring on. Not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron's just gonna have to wait. He will.
So you
So
hear it first. Wyatt Williams is asking for a Super Bowl win from Santa Claus.
That's
From Santa
that's what I
Claus.
want for Christmas.
Yes.
That's what I want. We're gonna skip
Yes.
back here to the best Christmas gift I ever got. That would be the best Christmas gift I ever got. And what I'm wanting for Christmas is a Super Bowl win in February by the Packers. That is
Yeah.
that would be like every Christmas wish ever would come true. Like I was a Packers fan and I was alive for their last Super Bowl in like 2010, but like I was so young that like I couldn't really wrap my mind around it. So like I was happy and I celebrated, but whenever you're 8 or 9 years old, you don't really understand it yet. You don't like grasp how big that is. And so to get to see it at this time would be really cool. But my final question for our intro here, our Christmas themed questions. Um, Me and Nikki went out and looked at Christmas lights tonight. Before once it had first got dark, I had to do a little group project. So after we looked at lights, I had to go help out my guys with the group project. But before that, we were looking, and the main thing that I was wanting to ask you here is over decorating a thing when it comes to Christmas? Can you over decorate?
Okay. I think the key to this question is when it comes to Christmas, right? So you see the people who take Halloween very seriously, and their houses are super decorated.
Right.
Zombies, mummies, like witches everywhere. My and I'm on a kind of a grandparent story spell here, but my grandparents, um, let's just say, most people would consider them over decorating for Christmas. They have 36 blow ups, 36 inflatables, blow ups in their front yard. 36.
36?
36. 36. And it's in the front yard. So, like, which reminds me, when you come back, you have to drive by this house. It
I
is the
which
most, like,
which which grandparents is it?
insane.
Is it?
So, this is the one, it'd be the Rickmers, but I mean, they're the one that's closest to my mom's house.
Yeah, I know what
Um,
you're talking about. Okay, 30. Yes, I will for sure drive by there and
36.
go check
Like
it out.
it's the craziest like outlook everywhere. Like Jesus is there. Like everyone is
Jesus,
celebrating. Yeah, everyone is
Jesus
celebrating
is
Christmas.
there.
Like Jesus is there. Like what more would you? Who more
Oh,
would
you
you
said
want
that.
at Christmas? Like there's no one else you would want more. And
Isn't it
like they have
crazy?
everyone out there.
Isn't it crazy that like
Like
the
Frosty the
whole
Snowman. Like I
Frosty,
mean, just
it's
going
everywhere,
out
man.
like
That's
Olaf. Like
so.
just
Is it
going out
over
all the people.
decorating?
Mrs. Santa Claus. No, it's not because it looks tremendous. And like when we're thinking like, yeah, when Santa Claus is landing on a roof, like which one is he gonna land on? Which one is he gonna give the most presents to? The one with Jesus and the one with 36 blow-ups, or the next door neighbor who doesn't even celebrate?
He
I
doesn't
mean,
even celebrate. Which,
everybody has a little bit of selfishness in them, and
right?
like that's the place that you're gonna get cookies, you're gonna get everything you
Right,
want to
right.
get.
Santa's excited to land on that roof.
Yeah,
That's the one where he's aiming for.
yeah,
When
he's
he
aiming for.
hits that town, he's like, "Oh, there it is."
I actually get double presents there,
You
like
get double presents
two
now,
times the
really?
presents.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's what it is. I need to get 36 blow-ups and cook really good cookies, and that's the secret, kids. If you're listening here, you gotta have 36 blow-ups in your front yard, and you've got to cook the best cookies. And Santa will give you double presents now.
that's the secret sauce.
Santa is a true capitalist at heart.
Yes,
He really
yes,
is.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's how you don't get on Santa's naughty list.
Right.
That's Santa's good
If
list.
you are on the naughty list and you have 36 blow-ups and he
Yeah.
pulls up to it, you are no longer on the naughty list when he
Yeah,
sees that.
it's actually
When
over. Like he crosses your name out then and there.
if you have 40 blow-ups instead of 36, he actually gives you Rudolph's red nose. You get to keep it. It's a real thing now.
Yeah,
It's like
it's a souvenir. Like it's a
they're
souvenir.
right.
Yeah,
The thing that I've always found like funny about Christmas is it's a holiday based around Jesus and like his birth. So but when you think of Christmas, the first thing that everybody thinks of is Santa. That's the first person you think of when you think of Christmas. And like the whole point behind this from the beginning was Jesus and all these people, the first thing they flock to is Santa. I've always like and once again, there's nothing wrong with it. However you believe religiously is however you believe religiously. I believe we all should believe what we believe. But I've always just thought that was wild that like, this holiday is based around Jesus and the person that, is more iconic for the holiday in the people's eyes is Santa. So I've always
hmm
thought that was great. But Santa, as you see in the background, is a pretty cool guy. So
Santa's
pretty
also
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
Jesus is a cool guy. Santa's a cool guy. At
right,
our place, we have both. So like, there's nothing more you could ask.
right. That's why you get double presents. That's how you
Mhm.
do it. I'm telling you. You figured this out.
Two
Well,
for two.
2-4-2. And we are going to head to a 1 minute break real quick. On the other side of that, we got some discussion. We're going to talk Purdue basketball. We're going to talk Steph Curry. And we're going to talk some youth sports. That is the one you want to, for sure, hang around for because it's going to be interesting. So we will be back in 1 minute with the discussion. Man, how can you not feel like calmed and rejuvenated after that
Yes.
sound?
After
I
that,
feel
I don't
like
know. I don't know
I,
who does that sound. Like, I need to be friends with them.
it's on Restream here. It's just a minute break on here that I guess comes with the thing. So
Shout out to Restream.
shout,
Shout out
shout
to
out to
shout out to
Restream.
Restream and their collaboration with the music director who created that
Yes,
precious music, that precious
the
sound.
precious,
I would pay
precious. Yes.
somebody to play that music right beside me by bed, by my bed, so I could go to sleep listening to that music every night.
Exactly, man. That's it's beautiful. It's absolutely perfect. But speaking of absolutely perfect, at the number one ranking in the nation for the first time ever in the history of ever. Sounds pretty epic, doesn't it? It's a good build up.
Hmm.
Purdue is the number one ranked team in the nation, which is a huge accomplishment for you guys. You guys deserve this. You guys have worked your tail off for the last couple of weeks getting this, going. And yeah, I just want to say congratulations. And anything you want to say about this road to number one so far, or how the season's gone?
um, no, I just want to say thanks. I've put in a lot of work helping this team get to where they are. Um, Obviously, as you guys know, I am redshirted, but I do try to pick the guys up when I can, and
Hey, you are there for moral support right now. I love it.
I am
Every
there
time
for
I
moral
see you on the
support.
TV, you're the one standing up. You're throwing your hands up in the air, supporting your
I'm getting
teammates.
the
I love it.
crowd involved. I'm giving people high fives.
Exactly.
So, but no, we have a really good basketball team here. It reminds me of what James Harden said. Like I think he said in an interview, like he's really good at the sport, and I think that is kind of what Purdue is with basketball right now. Um, when I think I was talking to Caleb about this, and I was like, when you take a step back, like when you are redshirted and you take a step back and look at, because obviously, before that, you're, competing for minutes, you're competing for, just against, everybody out there. And, you still are. But when you're not going to play in the games, you kind of get a step back and, kind of look at the game as a whole and look at the flow of the game. You just have a different perspective on things. And you see, really how good the team is. Like, I don't know if, the players obviously appreciate it as much as they should, as far as how good the team is, how good the coaches are, like how good of a situation we're in right now. As somebody who's, I play basketball, I watch basketball, but I think we're number one, but it's a pretty secure number one as far as talent wise, to put it like that. And I know I'm a little biased in that opinion, like I
Sure.
said. Um, I just think we have a really good team. We have a really good thing going on right now, and I'm
I
proud of the
honestly,
guys.
I
Everybody
I wouldn't even go to say you're
contributed.
biased. And once again, I'm not just saying this because we're friends and I'm a big supporter of Purdue because you're there and stuff. It has nothing to do with that. It's just when I watch basketball, and once again, taking a step away from our friendship and everything, you guys look like the most fundamentally sound and working team in the nation right now, and that's why you guys are ranked number one. You guys look really good on the floor. You're playing extremely well. The coaching is dialed in. Painter's done an excellent job. I'm beyond excellent job of getting you guys together for this. He's done an awesome job recruiting to set this up. So just everything has really fallen into place in a great way so far. And like I said, it's very exciting and really cool to see for you guys. So the next thing we've got is this crazy, and we can't show it for copyright reasons, but go look this up. The Steph Curry half court buzzer beater shot that he had the other day, that was, I believe, before halftime, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And the play before that, he had the ball stolen from him, and it was
And it's
laid up
great.
with
And it's
like 8
crazy
seconds
because
left.
like it's crazy because you have to actually think about that. Like, was that before halftime or was that just a normal shot for him? Like, you don't know. Like sometimes
Right,
he just shoots from there, and it's
right.
like what are you doing? And then it goes in. And it's like that's what you're doing. So
See, I think Steve Kerr has just kind of gotten to a point where like you just don't question what he does. Like
no.
just let the guy play. Like don't question it. Don't, and even the other night when he had his career worst night, like 2 weeks ago, where he shot like 3 for like 20, I think. So it was something bad.
Hmm.
But even at that rate, he was still, Kerr was still curving the offense around him. They were still running through him and everything, even in his worst time. That's how incredible this guy is and how much of a game changer that he really is even when he's playing at his all-time worst, the worst game he's ever had in NBA in his time being in the NBA, still they're still drawing those plays up. They're still wanting him to take those shots. They're still, and it speaks volumes to the character, not to the character, the player and character, but the player that he is and how great of a player he is. But it was just like, I thought it was crazy because right before that, he had the ball stolen from him and the defender laid it up. And then there's like 6 seconds left on the clock. They dish it into him. He gets guarded hard again. There's like a press, and he runs to the middle of the court and just heaves up a half court shot and just drains it. It's
Yeah.
like the team. I don't remember who they were playing, but the team they were playing had just got all that momentum because of the steal and the layup. So they got the free points right there. There's a lot of momentum going their way, and Steph's like, "Hold on, let me just take that momentum right back. Let me pop this half court shot right in your eyes." And that's what he did. He is something else, that's for sure. But we
Right.
all know that. And you have him at your number one point guard all time, right?
I do. Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah.
And that's like I feel the same way. And that's not any discredit to Magic, because Magic was exceptional. He was the first ever positionless player. But Steph Curry, just like he changed the game. Like his outlook, the game will never be the same. He was of that caliber of Mike, of LeBron. He changed the game forever. Teams started building their rosters to beat them because of how great they were. That's what the Houston Rockets were designed for. They were designed to try and take out the Warriors in the West and get themselves to the finals. They never were able to do it because Steph is so incredible. But what I find most interesting about this is the fact that they are one of the top teams in the Western Conference. They got off to an incredible run. I don't know the exact number, but they started off the season like 90% win percentage. So like they started the
And I
season
will
with some.
say again, episode 1, I called it. I said you got to watch out for the Warriors. I know it's not a giant like
Well, it's still big. They don't have Clay. They're
right.
missing.
Yeah,
They're
they
hurt.
don't have Clay, but I was like, I'm telling you, the Warriors are going to be a great basketball team. I'm
Right.
telling you, and
Yeah, here it is.
obviously,
Trey
I,
called it. He
yeah,
predicted this.
yeah. I'm
But
basically a fortune teller. Like I have a crystal ball, and like I was rubbing it, and that's what it told me.
I'm basically fortune
I like read palms and like that kind of thing.
basically a fortune teller. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah,
We've already got
is
our.
that the caption of the day?
That's our quote of the day. You just won it. So there it is.
Oh,
I gotta if I if
boom.
I if I can type it in, maybe we could get it up on the screen at some point. Here we go. I am basically a fortune teller. Yes. I love it, man.
Yes. It's
Yes.
there. It's there.
Boom.
Hold on. You didn't put the TKR by it.
Oh no, I didn't. What am I doing? See, I'm asleep at the wheel right now, man. Here we go. I got this. TKR. Boom. Save. There we go. Oh,
Boom. Boom.
yes.
Yes, there it is.
Yes. But
But
I
I
I
am.
find. Go ahead.
But I do want to go back. I remember last episode I talked about people who I'd want to interview. And Steph is probably, if not one,
You
and
said
this is
Steph,
not
didn't you?
counting. Yeah, no,
I
I
thought
definitely
so.
said Steph is. I mean, let's just say he's probably top 5. Especially like in the sport that I play. Um, and when you see him during warmups, everybody talks about his 2-ball dribbling, this, that, and the other, and they miss out on s- a part of his warm up that I think is the most interesting. When you see him warm up, it is not how your typical high school shooting coach tells you to warm up. He is throwing up like he's shooting the ball as high as he can and trying to, hit the shot.
Right.
He's doing
Hit
these
it from all different
crazy
angles.
one-handed layups, like just crazy like flow shots. And that's really what it is. Like I think his, the guy that he kind of works with, that goes through that kind of pregame with, I think he said something along the lines of, "We just need to get Steph flowing" or something like that. And that's how he plays. That's how he plays, and that's why shooting is such like it's such a mindset and it's so psychological because like him, it's not just fundamentals that make the shot go in. And with him, I think that's what's so unique and so special about him is that and what sets him apart from every other shooter who's ever played basketball is his freedom and flow and nonchalant and non-caring about and having the ultimate green light and confidence in himself to shoot the basketball is what makes him so spectacular.
Right,
And
his
just
confidence is
that
unreal.
right. And but that's what I'm saying. Like when you see him warm up, like your shooting coach would never ever want you to take the type of shots that he does. But they don't understand again the psychological, the swagger, the different mind the mindset that he's in and what he's
I
going
like how you said that, the psychological swagger. I like that. I think it's hitting the nail right on the head.
right, right. And I think for him, that's what's again most important. Like you said, his trainer said it's for him. It's more important to get kind of in the flow of shooting than just hammering out the fundamentals as soon as he steps on the court.
Yeah.
So
But what I find so interesting about it is that like they start off with this incredible record and everything, and they don't even have Clay. Like Clay is
no,
not there yet. Still, like
Clay is not there. He has not played a minute yet.
he's not played a
That is
single
true.
game. Not a
From what I can
single
tell
game.
with my own eyes, he has not played.
It's crazy to me. And they're beating good teams too. And they're winning convincingly. They look like an incredible team. And they're only going to get better once they add Clay because you've already got the greatest shooter in NBA history in Steph Curry on your team. And then Clay is
And it's not
top
debatable.
5.
It's not a debatable
No, not
topic or
even close.
concept.
Y-
No matter
Before,
what,
bef-
no matter what the above 40 people try to tell you, it's not debatable. He's the best shooter ever. Like, get it out
like
of your head.
exactly before I would say before Steph had won, let's say before he had won his second ring, maybe after he won his second ring, I think Ray Allen was still the greatest shooter. But at this point, I don't even think it's close. Like, he passed that up so long ago, and it's just the way that he shoots. He can shoot from literally once he crosses the half court line, he becomes a scoring threat. The
Hmm.
second that he crosses it, and even sometimes from behind, as what we're talking about right now, sometimes he's a threat as soon as he gets the ball. Like it doesn't matter where he is on the court, he's a threat. Like he could catch the ball and shoot it from anywhere, and it seems like it goes in every
It's a
time,
good shot.
seemingly.
It's a good
Right,
shot. I mean,
right.
Draymond said it before. He was like me shooting an uncontested shot, like having Steph shoot a contested shot is sometimes better than me shooting an uncontested shot. And that's
I,
crazy.
I
Like,
wouldn't I wouldn't say I wouldn't disagree with that. That's what I'll say. Because Draymond, don't get me wrong, Draymond's a great player and he's an awesome defender, great rebounder, and he plays the small ball aspect of basketball, playing the center, being a power forward extremely well, and I respect his game. But Draymond, I would take a Steph 3-pointer from 10 feet behind the perimeter and with someone with a hand in his face over Draymond shooting all by himself. Not trying to take anything away from Draymond here. Not doing that. But Steph is just he's
that's that
so
good.
incredible. It's just crazy the way he plays basketball. It's beyond fun to watch. That's what I'll
Right.
say. But
And it's and I know we're kind of on a kind of Steph kick right now and recently.
right,
I mean as we should be, which is I mean he's some of the things he's doing right now is incredible. But I like how you reference the Rockets built a team to beat him. Like to beat the Warriors. Like he starts
multiple
this
teams
trend.
did.
Multiple teams did. And Charles Barkley
Oklahoma City
saying or
tried. Oklahoma City tried to put together a team when they brought in Paul George. They thought that was going to be the answer. Oh, we'll just go bigger. Nothing.
right, right. But I'm just saying when you look at like, Charles Barkley and him saying that like jump shooting teams don't win championships. Okay, they win a championship. Then the whole NBA changes and analytics are being involved and like more threes, more threes, more threes. Then you have a Daryl Morey, Rockets team who's built around, okay, James Harden ISO, we're going to shoot a bunch of threes, like that's how we're going to play. Built to beat the Warriors. Like people always talk about, the old heads talk about, oh, Jordan the Pistons, Jordan the Pistons, Jordan the Pistons. Well, the Pistons were winning, like without Jordan. You know what I mean? Like they were a good team. They didn't beat it. They didn't build it to beat Jordan. They had Jordan rules or whatever, but they were still winning, when
Right.
he wasn't there. So it was like, and then you take Steph, and it's like, no, I'm not saying Steph's better than Michael Jordan, but it's like these are the type of stories that we're going to have when he retires, and it's like, I mean, when it's all said and done, like I could have him in my top 5 ever to play basketball,
Honestly, dude, I wouldn't say you
if
were
not
wrong
there
if you
right
had him
now.
in your top 5. Right, I wouldn't say you were wrong if you had him in your top 5 now. I think I've got him somewhere around like 6 or 7. I don't think I have top 5 yet, but by the time he retires, absolutely. I think I would say arguably he could be top 3 when he retires because of how much he's changed the game. And if they go on to win a championship, let's say they win 2 more championships before he's retired, he's got the rings to be in the GOAT conversation, and he changed the game of basketball and the way that it's played forever. So, like, I mean, you've got a guy who was a star, absolute star on and off the court, and he changed the game, changed the way that it was analytically looked at. He changed the way statistically X's and O's, like the entire game changed because of him. So he's got that. And on top of that, he's made so much history. I mean, he's literally the greatest shooter to ever shoot a basketball. Like, of everyone who's ever picked up a basketball in their life and shot it, he is number one of that in the world ever. Nobody is on top of him in that category. So, like I said, I would not argue with you if you had him in your top 5 right now. I think that there's definitely a case to put him there. Absolutely. Um, I don't quite think he's to the top 3 level yet, but like I said, if they go on to win, another championship or 2 or even more after that, like I said, I can't sit here and tell you that he won't be in that GOAT conversation because there's no way you can leave him out after the
Yeah,
impact that he's had on the game and the rings and everything is involved, and he's got the stats to back it up too. So,
right.
like I
And
said,
I know
I just
people are gonna look at that and be like, man, you have Steph in the top 5. Like, who are you taking out? And it's like,
it's tough.
but can you leave him? That's what I'm saying. It's tough. You're talking about the 5 greatest players, who've ever played
Ever.
basketball. And are you considering Wilt? Are you considering, Russell? Like those people that played,
I've
so
got
long
I've
ago. And Wyatt, you have your opinions on that. I know. But it's like
that's what I have respect. I have respect
I
for Wilt,
have
but
I think Steph
I don't
is
think he's up there.
in at least top 15 ever to play basketball right now.
You have
For
Steph.
sure.
Did you say you have in top 15 for sure?
I have top 15 for sure
I've got him at
that
top 15
he's
lock.
in that. But
I've
I'm
probably
saying
got him at
by the
top
time
10
he's
lock.
done with his career, I could see him in top 5.
Sure, absolutely. So I agree with you 100%. I think so. But now we're moving off of our little our Steph Curry phase that we've had here. And this is the story. This is what you've all been waiting for. We're officially 39 minutes and 20 seconds into the show. This is what you've been waiting for. Trey, look at him getting a drink of water. He is preparing for this. This is a rant. It's coming. It's coming hard and fast
It's
on
a
this.
red. Get ready.
So
Santa Claus, it's already close to Christmas. You can't take me out after this.
this was reported by the Washington Post, so credit to them. Um, Youth sports are having a nationwide shortage of refs. And the reasoning behind it, and I quote, it is due to parents and hostility in situations for refs. Apparently, there have been some issues with AAU tournaments, Little League tournaments, where parents were even waiting outside for referees. And like I said, it's caused a nationwide shortage now. So now that I've built this up, Trey, it's time. Let them have it. Let's hear it.
So I don't even I don't even know where to start. my whole thing with esports is it is the most frustrating, overrated, um, most just craziest thing that I've
Because
ever like been a
oh,
part of. It just
everybody
frustrates
believes
me
their kid is the
so
one.
much. Yes, their kid is the next, and we're talking about their kid like third grade. Like third grade, their kid's like
You can't
in the
tell
NBA
yet.
right now. Right now. Like in third grade. Like, yeah, my kid's averaging 20 points in third grade. It's like, come on, like, do you not know how dumb you sound right now?
He's playing
Like it's
8-year-olds.
yeah,
I'd average 100, and I suck
yeah,
at basketball.
yeah, yeah. It's so frustrating. And it's beyond like the like reality of the situation. Like the reality is obviously you can't tell how good a kid's gonna be when they're that age.
Sure.
But it's beyond like it's just the stupidity of how many parents like their whole life is dedicated around how can I make my kid like either expose my kid or create a situation for him to go into the NBA or well I guess that's what we're talking about right now. But
Right.
it's any sport. Like it's
It's
just
it's yeah,
crazy.
it's
It's
especially I've found that baseball seems to be the worst. Not throwing any flack at baseball people,
I
but I've always found that like little league baseball parents were the worst of the group.
Oh, I'll
Sorry to
throw
little league
flack on
baseball
all of them.
parents.
I'll throw flack on everybody. If you're a youth coach and you
Trey's
care
throwing it
that
out right
much,
now. You
yeah,
get some, you get some, you
I
get
am
some.
definitely throwing it out. Like if you are a parent and you are really about to fight over a third grade basketball game, like you need to reevaluate your life and priorities. To be honest, like,
Dude, I just can't imagine getting that heated over that. It's a third grade
but here's the
basketball game.
yes, no, here's the thing. Why? Like, imagine how heated I am at other people being frustrated. Like I'm trying to like I'll
It's
go to a
that
basketball
bad.
game. Yeah, no, seriously. And I'll watch my brother play. And like my brother's in a situation where he's a lot more athletic than I was and a lot more naturally gifted and talented at basketball than I
I've
was
been
at
I know
that
we just
age.
talked about not like diagnosing this from a young age, but I've been watching the clips that your mom's posted of Jalen, and he looks really good for his age. I know we
Yeah.
just talked about like
Yeah.
people
Yeah, we're
saying
not
that, but genuinely, I mean that, man. He looks
but
really, really good for his age.
I will like I'll go to the games and like there's not one time in my head where I'm like thinking that I should be screaming at the referees or like screaming at like another player that's his age to
You've
like
never
back
thought
off. Like
about
that
going
just
at some
seems
referee's
like
neck over this? You've never thought about that? Are you
yes.
kidding me?
Now there's been situations where like I have been like frustrated when like the other team's coach has told his players to intentionally like grab him or hit him or something like that. But again, it goes along the line of like what are you teaching your like kids? Like, does winning really matter? Does it matter that much when kids are in third grade? Does your third grade? Because I'll tell you right now, I have a middle school team. In middle school, I'm gonna say sixth or seventh grade. My team went 80 something, 80 something games. It's either 60 or 80. I know it's a big difference, but it was in a row that we won in a row. And again, I may have talked about this more. Sometimes I forget what we've
Oh
talked
yeah,
about
your
before.
AAU team. You and Foster Mefford was on that team, right?
No, it was different. This was just my school team. This is my school team. So we played an entire
Jesus
AAU
Christ,
season.
Trey.
Yeah, yeah.
How
So it was
many
me,
teams
Coop.
do you have with like 60 wins? Because didn't I don't mean to interrupt your story. Didn't you and Foster Mefford play on a AAU team that had like 82 consecutive wins, right?
No, me and Foster did play on the same AAU team, and we were a really good basketball team. But that was just for a slight stint. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, so it was just
We'll
people
see. Oh,
from
sorry, I'll
Silver.
stop throwing you off topic.
Yeah, it was just people from Silver Creek, and we won. I forget how many games in a row, but we won an entire AAU season in a row. So all the tournaments, every single game in every single tournament,
Okay, this is what I
we
was thinking of.
yes, yeah,
Never mind.
we played our entire school season, didn't lose a game, didn't lose a game. The next AAU season, didn't lose a game, And
That's crazy.
that was the most useless time of my basketball playing career. The most useless time. I could, I literally don't care. It's a fun story to tell people like on this podcast, but like I don't care at all because no one cares how good your kid is. No one cares how good you are in 6th grade. Like, get over yourself. No one cares.
That's
No one
awesome.
cares. And like my team was so good, like I didn't even develop my basketball skills at that point because I was just sitting in the backcourt and watching, the guards that we had 2 amazing guards at that age. And they would just steal the ball and go shoot layups. We win every game by 40 points. And it was like, yes, I'm on this winning team, but no one cares because I didn't get better
Right.
at basketball. We're winning every game. Like, it didn't matter.
There were no
And so,
lessons involved.
yeah, there were no lessons involved. So it was the dumbest, like, stupidest. U Sports is just, man. I could go and rant on this
you,
forever. Is what?
you
How long has it already been? It's been like 14 minutes,
something like that.
and like it's something like that. And it's just like I just can't get over it. Like there's some things in your life that are just like you keep on going back to, and you're just like, man, that just hopefully it makes sense to me one day, but like this will never make sense to me.
It's not getting better.
This will never. And something else that that happened today. Another thing that didn't make sense. I was talking to a coach, and the players in our team, like, there's a lot of players on our team that are into like, shoes and stuff. But I'm like, how dumb is it that we get free shoes at Purdue? We get free shoes. It's like, we're, sponsored by Nike. Like, it's Purdue, college basketball team.
Right.
And they go out and pay for shoes. Like, I couldn't think of a dumber
They
way to
do?
spend money. Yes, that's what I'm saying. They go out and spend, and I'm not trying to put my, my teammates on blast.
Right. We're calling all of them
But
out
like
on here.
call them out like behind their back. But like if they were right in front of me, I would tell them the exact same thing. You are an
Have you already
idiot
had
if
this
you are
conversation
spending
with them?
real life money on basketball shoes. I haven't.
Have
yet.
you?
I haven't yet.
Not yet. Okay. Okay.
Not
So
yet.
when they
Because
watch this episode
it's
on
almost
Friday,
everybody.
this is going to be the
That's
big
what I'm saying.
boom
It's
moment.
almost everybody though. It's not just one player. There are like more than one people on our team. There's more than one person on our team that
There's
spends
more than
money.
one people.
Yeah, there's more. Yeah. There's more than one person on the basketball team that spends money on basketball shoes when we get them for free.
Awesome. Hey,
It's just
if they've got the money to do it and they want to be blinged out, go dude, let them do their thing, man. I like it.
yeah.
You are not like you are just not that like flashy. You know what I mean? Like you're just really humble about everything, and I could see where that would like you would be shook up about that. I love that.
It's maybe it's just
We get
because like
free shoes and they're going out and buying shoes.
yeah,
What are they
maybe it's
doing?
'cause I'm a fish, and it's not even like if you want to wear a cool pair of shoes, like fine, like whatever. But it's just like we get like if you would just go to Nike and like just ask for shoes, like you would get shoes.
Like
so
you
why
guys
would
get
you
any free shoe you want. Like if you went to Nike and you're like, "Hey, I want this shoe." Did they give it to you?
within a certain cat? Like I'm not exactly sure. I probably have at least 8 pairs of shoes that I've gotten at Purdue. 8.
Jeez.
8 pairs of shoes. Like you can't pick one of 8 to wear. Like think about that for a second. Like in
You
their,
can't pick a
their
single shoe.
$100. That's like at least $800 worth of shoes. I don't know how much
Yeah.
shoes cost these days, but like
Basketball expensive. Basketball shoes are expensive.
I mean, it just But again, I could go on a rant forever about this stuff.
Well, so I don't mean to bring it back up. You coached a little bit for your brother's team, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you ever run into a situation with a parent or anything? Because I'd imagine with you being you, that people probably wouldn't come up and be like, "Oh, what were you doing on this one?" But did you ever have a situation with a parent, or did you ever? Here's the better question: have you ever experienced any crazy moments playing AAU, high school, elementary, middle school basketball? You have any crazy
While I was
stories?
playing, or
Yeah.
while I'm coaching.
Yeah. Well, we'll just say
I've had
both.
plenty
We'll say one of
I've had
each.
I've had plenty of moments where it's just like, what is going on? Like
That
there's been
you're
games where like I remember a game specifically where like the entire crowd was kicked out of the game. Like yeah, the crowd was kicked out. Like,
What?
we were in a gym, and it was a championship game, and this was like, like 5th grade basketball, like nothing serious. And like all of a sudden, like the other team's coach started arguing with our like fans, and then the referee in the game, they kicked the fans out.
Like
And so
all of them. There was no
they kicked
fans in the
all of them.
stands.
There was no fans. He just kicked them out. He just kicked them out. And so like they
Oh my
so like
God. Do
yeah,
refs
it's
like
like a gym.
are
Yeah,
they able
yeah.
to
And
do
so
that?
like I don't know, but like, and so all the fans are like watching through this like this little hole in the door, like little windowsill in the door, trying to like watch the game. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing
You
I've
see
ever
80
like.
people in the lobby just looking through one window,
Oh,
fighting over the window.
I'm telling you, there's at least 80 people in a 5th grade game, which is already crazy. But like even me at 5th grade realized how dumb of a situation this was.
See, that sucks for the parents that like weren't doing anything, that they had to leave too. That's what sucks. The parents who were the
Because
bad
they
ones,
paid
the bad
money.
apples.
That's the thing. They paid
Right.
money for the game. And AAU games aren't cheap. Like, those wristbands are like $20 a game. Like
Jeez.
it's literally highway robbery. Like it costs an arm
It's
and a
it's
leg.
highway AAU
Dude,
basketball. It's
yeah.
highway robbery.
It is highway robbery. It is the most, egregious money. Like it isn't. That's a completely separate story. But the fact that 80 people are
You are
just
so
standing
passionate
out,
about this stuff. I love it.
dude, it is because it just like if there's one thing that you have to get under my skin, talk about how your fifth grade son or daughter is going to be the next pro,
See,
and
do
talk
you
about
ever
how
get
you're the
parents? Do you ever
and
get
talk about how
parents that
you're
like
the
come?
coach of
Go
the
ahead.
team. Talk about how you're the coach of the team and you're running all these set plays for your 5th grade son and daughter. That really will get me going.
Do you ever have parents come up to you and be like, "Hey, my kid is really good. Will you watch some film of it or something like that and like help him out or anything?" Have you ever had a situation like that yet?
I have, unfortunately, and that's a hard no for me.
It's a hard no.
The, for sure, for sure, for sure. Because as soon as they say, "Hey, my kid's really good," and I'm like, "How old's your kid?" "Yeah, 7." Huh.
Does your
So
kid
your
know he's
kid's
good,
really
or
good
you
at
just tell it?
7. Yeah, yeah. Because I remember what I was doing at 7, and I can tell you, I was not planning to be. I had aspirations of being, a great basketball player, but like at 7 years old, like I wasn't, I wouldn't consider myself amazing at basketball. So, something's changed. I don't know something's in the water where you're coming from, but
So
you know, your your son's different from
the
the.
Gatorade's a little different in your town, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes. I don't know what you're teaching them. You don't need me. You don't need me. That's what
You
I'm
cl-
saying.
you
That
clearly do not need me. What are you
yeah, yeah,
talking to me for?
yeah.
You've got
Like
this
you should
figured
be
out.
making a lot of you should be making a lot of money right now if you can train a kid in 7th grade to be that good. I mean, not
Like,
7th grade,
do
7
you know
years
Phil
old to be that good.
Jackson? Do you know Phil
Yeah,
Jackson? Are you drawing
yeah.
up
You
like
could
the
be the next
triangle?
one.
Are you doing the triangle in seven seven U basketball?
Yeah, Tez Winter, the triangle offense.
The triangle. Oh, rant over, man. That was something else for for sure. That
Yeah,
was I saw that story that they were having and the caption said
yeah. We didn't even
nationwide
talk about that.
shortage.
We didn't
Huh?
even talk about that.
We
We didn't even
didn't
talk
we
about
didn't
that.
even get to
We didn't even
it.
talk about how it was the refs that are, and it's like, of course they don't want to. Of course they don't want to ref. We
Right.
have
Well, it was
these.
like one of the
I
refs
wouldn't want to
quoted.
ref.
Yeah. Well, they had one of the refs quote on the article, and I don't remember word for word what he said. So paraphrasing is here. It was something about how there were like, they were basically getting paid very little to go and ref a game, while the entire time people question their eyesight and their hearing and everything that they do. And then after the game, you got to deal with the mad parents who want to come up and try and talk to you about something. So, like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? Like, I completely understand
I think about that.
why
Imagine,
we'd be like,
imagine getting paid $7 a game, and then you have a row of parents come up to you after the game trying to explain what call you made for a 5th grade basketball game.
See, I'm a
And
big thing that
this
I
is like real life we're talking about. Like this is not The Sims or like some like metaverse thing that we're talking about. Like this is
right.
real life. Like
This
this
is
stuff is
happening every
actually
day in a
happening.
town near you.
Yeah, in a town
In
near
your
you.
town.
That needs to be the quote of the day.
it's
In a
it's under
town
it's
in a town near you, people are this dumb. Like it's actually a thing. Like we have a pandemic
oh
and it's not COVID, it's stupidity.
it's
It's a
stupid.
real thing that is going on,
It's
and I don't know
it's
if it's in the water or it's in the air. Like just people are different out here.
they are, man. It's just like everybody, we talk about this a lot, and we talked about it before the show, of course. It's like ever since COVID happened, it's like everybody and their brother is a doctor now. Like they just
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, people are crazy,
And it was
man.
before
That's
COVID. And don't get me wrong, it was before COVID too. And I'm sure it's been generations and generations of just people that have no idea what they're talking about. But for some reason, it was amplified after COVID. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Maybe it's people
it was
have
COVID.
COVID.
That's what did it.
Maybe it's
COVID was
COVID.
the
Maybe it's COVID.
multiplier.
Like the biggest symptom of COVID is like being dumb. Like is that like that needs to be added to like the runny
Put it on a
nose,
t-shirt.
no taste. Yes,
Put it,
yes, yes,
put
yes.
it put it on a t-shirt.
Like you have like to me, like I would rather be around the COVID person than the person that's yelling at referees at a at a fifth grade game.
No kidding. I couldn't
Like you
agree
know what I'm
more.
saying?
Right.
Like
I'd
the
rather
people I
sit
don't
in
want
the
to be
room. I'd
around,
rather
like
sit in a room
people that
with
can't taste, people that can't, have a runny nose, and like people who are yelling at, fifth graders to play better basketball. Those are the type of people I don't want to be around during COVID.
and a big hot take for me. This will be our final thoughts before we close it off and head to break. A big thing for me has always been, and this is a major hot take for me, and I get looks for this all the time. I don't think a referee can sway the outcome. Like I don't. Okay, let me start over. I don't think a referee can change the outcome of a game. Like if you have a ref throwing it, then obviously yes. But if a ref is not throwing a game, I do not think that it is true that a ref changes the outcome of a game, because there are things that you can do throughout the game to change that. If you would have scored more points and not put yourself in that situation for the ref to make that call,
Mm-hmm.
this wouldn't even be a factor. If you would have put up more, if you would have hit more shots, if you would have scored another touchdown or whatever it may be, if a ref cannot, and this is a big thing for me, a ref cannot, in my eyes, change an outcome of a game. There's so many things that happen before it. You know, you fail you fail to hit, you miss 8 free throws, or you miss a wide open shot, or you get a bunch of turnovers. There's something along the line of that game caused you to be in that situation and allow the ref to make that call. Instead of crying about a ref's call, don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah,
Don't do
yeah.
it.
And especially a situation that you're talking about. Like now, I've had some. There were some games in high school where I will say that the referees uh, definitely changed the outcome of the game. I will say that. But the situations I think that Wyatt's talking about here is when there's a call at the very end of the game,
Yes. Yes,
and it's
that is what I'm trying to
debatable,
get at.
and 57-57 call at the end of the game goes one way or the other, and you have to realize you have so many possessions in a game, and I we actually talked before our season at Purdue. Um, the like chief of officials or whatever, they came in. They talked about kind of the new rule changes, and they talked about how at the college level, and these are obviously when you go up, the ranks or whatever you say, when you go to obviously elementary referees, then high school referees, and college referees, you get better and better and better.
Sure.
But at the college level, they say they make, on average, they go back, they look at the tape, they review everything. They make 6 debatable calls a game, I think. I think it was on that line. But it's
Okay.
consistent. It's consistently debatable.
Right.
Right. And we're not talking about like, now mistakes, they say they make I don't even think it's one. I don't think they make a mistake.
Wow.
Maybe one. I think they make one mistake a game, something like that. A
Like on
mistake where,
average.
yeah, it was a call where it should have gone the other way. Now there are six debatable calls where, like, if you were positioned a little bit different, or like it could have gone either way. And these are kind of like, you're setting up for a charge. Sometimes it's a charge, sometimes it's a block, but it's just within the situation. Like, it's a call. It's a 50-50 call. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So they make six of those a game. Um, but in actuality, like, they don't mess up a ton. Like, refs don't mess up a ton.
Right.
And when you want to say that, like, at the very end of the game, 57-57, let's say they make one of those debatable calls. Like you said, they shouldn't have been in that situation. You have, however many possessions that you went, and you could have changed the outcome all those times, and you want to blame it on, that one possession. That's an accountability thing. I just want to make that clear for White. He's not saying that, uh, refs don't have a change in the game whatsoever.
Right. Right.
But he's saying that, one call does not change the outcome of a game. It just doesn't.
Yes, that's I should have you're correct. I should have explained that a little bit. That is you hit the nail right on the head on that one. Yes, because like I said, I do think that, like, if a referee is genuinely trying to throw a game, or if they're trying to taint it in some way to another side, they're capable of doing that. But my problem always lies with those people that, like, it's a tight game all the way through, and at the very end there's one call that doesn't go their way, and, like, they're like, "Oh, the refs suck. The refs are terrible." Like,
Mhm.
if you look at the amount of calls that they make in a game, if you look at it from a basketball perspective, let's say that a referee makes, and I don't know what the referee makes on average, how many calls they make in a game. Let's say they make 30 calls in a game, okay? And you said one is wrong. Imagine a shooter that is 29 for 30. You'd love him. You'd praise him. He'd be the greatest basketball player on your team at all times, no matter what team you played on. But when you look at it from a ref standpoint, that one call, people just freak out on, and it essentially at times can even cost a referee his job. So
Mhm.
that's, that yes, I do agree. I should have broke that down a little more. But yeah, I've always felt that way, that a ref's one call at the end of a game, or a couple of calls down the stretch at the end of a game, can't change the outcome.
Mhm.
But we are going to come to break. When we come back, we've got Would You Rather. You got to stick around for it. It's going to be great. I'm telling you. It's going to be awesome. So we will be back in 1 minute with some Would You Rather. And welcome back to the On the Court in the Booth podcast. We talked about it earlier. Keep on forgetting. We've got to post that Q&A because the questions were great from everybody. And like I said, we've run out of questions. So we're doing Would You Rather. And our first Would You Rather question, Trey, is would you rather give up breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Okay. So, these are the questions that I thoroughly enjoy going over, because these are the important questions in life.
In life,
Breakfast,
these are the number ones.
yes, the number one. Not debatable. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
You got to give up one forever.
I know. I know, and I'm a big eater. Um, I would say breakfast, just because. like, oh man, just because lunch and dinner you eat more, so I want to have the most food I can eat in a day.
There you go.
So it's an oversimplified way of looking at it. I do think breakfast, um, you know, has some of the best food that you
Is
can
it the
have.
most important meal of the day?
I think that's actually been proven wrong. I don't think, and it's not by Bill Gates, but like I think he said that he doesn't eat breakfast. So basically, it's not important.
Because Bill Gates did it and said it is no longer important.
It's no longer valid or important or anything. But no, seriously though, I do think that they've proven that is not the most important meal, regardless of what the old heads in your life say. Take it here first on the Court in the Booth podcast. We have Santa Claus backing us. We have, I mean, think about all the other. Aaron Rodgers is backing us. Think
Yes.
about all the people who back
Yep.
us.
Pretty much, if you've got Santa and Aaron backing you, there's not really that can go wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's gonna work. Clearly there's something going there.
Besides the Green Bay Packers,
Bes-
they can mess it up. But
right.
besides that,
We could royally screw this up. That's definitely for sure. That's hoping we hold on to this, man. It's coming down the wire. I am, everybody's gonna be upset about this. I agree. I think I would have to cut out breakfast simply
oh,
because
Wyatt
I
Williams always copying Trey,
always doubling down on it.
always
Doubling down.
doubling down on it.
I don't eat breakfast. I don't. Like my entire
Okay, now
life pretty
that's
much
a
I've
problem.
never
I didn't say that. For the record, I did not say I didn't eat. I definitely eat breakfast.
right. I mean
That's
like
a
of
crazy
course
take.
right. Of course across my life I've had breakfast here and there and stuff like that. But like a set everyday situation for me, breakfast is not one of them. It's really not. I'm not hungry in the mornings. I don't know what it is. I wake up out of sleep and like I can go through so like my classes right now. I'm in a class right now that starts at 10 a.m. and it ends at 6. And I can go in at 10 and like not be hungry and I can go all through the day until our lunch break, which normally hits at like 2ish and we get like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And like then, I can come home, eat a sandwich, stuff like that, but that entire time it's not like I'm sitting in class and my stomach hurts because I'm hungry or anything. I don't know what it is. I've just never been a big person on breakfast.
I'm like that after I work out. I don't want to just immediately gorge myself with food.
Right.
And, not to throw it back to you sports, but I remember
Toss it back there. Do it.
yeah, yeah.
Start this rant again.
Yeah, it's just bubbling. Um normally normally the youth sports like events, they have just garbage, just like nachos and hot dogs and just the worst possible food for
Food poisoning. That's what it
and
is.
it's like because back when I back when I played back in my day
Back in your day.
yeah, back in my
Back in
day
old Trey's day.
they used to allow you to play like 5 or 6 AAU games in one day. And I think that's illegal now. I think you're not allowed to do that anymore. But like we would actually play 5 games in one day. And it's like imagine playing 5.
How? How did you all
Oh,
not
it
get
was
hurt
bad.
or anything?
Oh, we did. We
Oh,
did.
okay. We did. Okay.
We definitely did. Like there was a thing where after I played that many games, the next day I would always be sick. Like that was a thing. Like I knew I was going to be
That's
sick.
crazy.
Like actually sick the next day. Just my, immune system is that far, in the gutter. But it's also because after you
Or you
play
just
that
played 5 basketball games back to back to
well, yeah,
back
yeah.
to back to back.
True. But imagine, that 5th game, you're like, man, like my body's just starving for something like nutritious to eat. And you just fill it with hot dogs and nachos. Just like I'm sure that's not something your body wants to happen or needs like,
Right.
nutritious wise.
Oh
So
man. That
like
just and
why
that
is
just
there not
doesn't
like a healthy option? Like are we trying to help kids in America?
well, I don't think it's
Are we
necessarily
trying to help are we
right.
trying to help American kids?
I don't think it's
Where are our
necessarily for the
tax dollars
players.
going, Wyatt Williams?
Right.
Because it is
Right.
not going to youth sports.
No, it definitely does not. I don't after running like that so much, I can't imagine thinking, "Oh, give me greasy food." Like that just doesn't
Yeah.
that doesn't register. It doesn't. I'm like, "Oh, give me that, salty nachos." Like, oh, that just does not sound good. It sounds like you're gonna eat it, and then like 5 minutes later, you're gonna yak it back up. That's exactly what's
Oh,
gonna
you
happen.
did. That was definitely a thing. It's just like the restroom lines are longer than the tip off lines. It's like, what's going on? So
You had people just going to the bathroom, right? All the players come out of the game, they go, they eat their nachos and hot dogs real quick, and then everybody just bolts to the bathroom at once.
yeah, it
The
was
coach is
bad.
in there while all you guys are like circularly around the toilet throwing up. He's like, "All right, guys,
I am
so this next game we're drawing up this play."
Yeah, scouting report. Like that is something I definitely don't miss about AAU basketball.
Do
Is
you miss
just the
AAU basketball? Was it
horrific
like, did you
food.
like it?
Yeah, I loved AAU basketball because like again, it was another thing where people took it way too seriously, and then being able to beat those teams were like you had the players that of course, me. I talked about before. Like I didn't know Purdue was ranked number 2 in the country. Like I didn't know my team was ranked two in the country. Like that's how much I literally don't care and don't value other people's opinions about our basketball team. Anyway, um, like when my teammates would tell me like this is a top 70 player in the country, I was like yes, because I can't wait to see like their parents like jumping up and down at the game and like us beat their team by 30.
You're like, "Oh, I
Like it
can't
was
wait to
just
crush
so
his
exciting.
dreams."
Yes, I cannot wait. I cannot wait because like you knew they were going to be so down in 5th
Right.
grade. You know what I mean? Like in 5th grade, you knew they were going to be so down.
People take some of that stuff just like, oh, and I just like, I don't know how you wouldn't like, the kids aren't embarrassed at that stuff. Like, wouldn't you be embarrassed if you looked up in the stands and your mom and dad were getting kicked out for the 15th time, in, this month or something? Like,
Yeah.
screaming at the refs, carrying on, you have to stop the game. The other team gets a technical foul, or you get a technical foul, the other team gets to shoot free throws. Like, I just
That
I just
you
feel
would
like
think.
that would just be embarrassing. I don't understand how people could do that. It's crazy to me, but you get some crazy parents apparently. The next one we've got here, and this one's gonna be. I'm excited to hear your answer on this one. I think it's gonna be very, very interesting. Suit and tie or PJs for the rest of your life, and that means like while you're on the court, you got to wear PJs or a suit and tie. Like everything you
Oh,
do
this is
for
not
the
even
rest of your life.
this. Yeah. For me, this is an easy one. PJs for sure.
I knew you were gonna
Um,
say that.
yeah, it's actually like not even close. And this is another argument that I've had. We're just going on rants today.
We we're
it's an
giving it
hour
to him, man.
13 in.
We're
Like
sticking it to the man.
yeah, we're sticking it to the upper class. Like we're sticking it to the people. Um, we're punching up right now. I think that like because okay, so we were going through the whole prom thing, high school or whatever, and we were talking about like ties or whatever. I think I ended up getting a bow tie. I actually don't remember. That's how much I didn't care about prom. Um,
I
but
can't believe you even went to prom. When you told me you went to prom, I was like, I didn't expect that. I really didn't. My Leroy almost didn't go to prom.
yeah, yeah,
He did though. He had a camo that his one stipulation to that. He told my mom, I will go to prom on one stipulation. I have to have a camo suit. And he did. They
what a guy,
fulfilled.
what a guy.
Leroy.
They fulfilled. Leroy. um, so we've talked about ties, right? And I think that, and maybe it's just, again me, like I don't know what the significance is of knowing how to tie a tie. I think that is like the most universally like that's another thing that just really sticks it to me because it's like if we have technology, and by technology I mean the clip-on that allows you to make life easier and not tie a tie by yourself, why would you not use that? Why would you not use that? Why would you need to
Right.
know how to do something more than that? It's just and maybe people say you can tell a difference, and okay, maybe, but let's say you couldn't tell a difference. Like, why would you not wear a clip on?
Right, right. No, I agree with you. I
What's your opinion on that?
I actually do not know how to tie a tie. I really don't. My mom is
Oh,
always
I don't
just, you know,
either. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to spend 30 seconds of my life learning how to tie a tie when I don't need to, because that's a wasted 30 seconds I have of my life, because I can buy a
right.
clip-on tie.
That's true. That's true. So you're a clip-on guy. You're a clip-on tie kind of guy.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So from now on, every time that we see D. Trey Kaufman in a suit and tie, we're gonna know. People will know right then that that's a that's a clip-on. Imagine if some kid saw this and comes up at your next game and grabs it, and just pulls. You know how funny that would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like breaking
Yeah.
news: Trey Kaufman
And
wears clip-on
and
tie.
listen, I'm sure that like it's the same thing with handshakes for me. It's like it's just something that to me I think is useless. Like if you come up and obviously if I go up and shake your hand and like you're like limping all the way down, like I can't even grab your hand, like that's a problem. Okay,
Right.
you have that bad of a floppy fish. But like it's the people that go up and shake your
You
hand
got
and
that
like
bad
are
of a did you say a floppy
squeezing
fish?
as hard as they can. Like I instantly like lose respect for you and your whole entire brand when you go up and shake my hand and like squeeze it and now my hand's blue. Like that's it. Like that's like I'm like I don't want to do business with you. Why would I want to do business with that person?
You're saying if they squeeze your hand like overly hard?
Yeah, like overly hard. Like they're trying to make it a firm handshake. Like that is just the most useless thing I have. Like I can contemplate. Like why would you?
See,
Like why is that a thing? Why
right.
are firm handshakes a thing?
I will say I'm a big person on like having a now I'm not like gonna like squeeze your hand until I break it. I'm a little bit big of a person on like having good, having I don't know how to explain it. Like a
Yeah,
firm
there we go.
handshake, but like it doesn't have to be overly firm. You know what I mean? Like I'm a person on like you should make good contact and it should seem like you care. But like I do
Right.
agree with you. You shouldn't be like, your hands shaking because you're squeezing so hard.
Right. And I guess what I'm trying to say is like these things are important. Like, okay, fine. You have a firm handshake going in the conversation. But I can tell you if you have spent a significant time thinking about how firm your handshake is, that means you're not spending a significant amount of time with the actual information that you are presenting to me.
Right.
That's what that means. You were spending way too much time on presentation and not enough on what actually matters. Like I think that's what gets to me. It's what actually matters in a person is not the same. Like your tie does not actually matter. I don't care. Like if I'm hiring you for a job and like it's about what you can do for me. Like if as a employer, if I'm saying, "Oh, this guy right here, like this guy has a whack tie," like I don't deserve to have a successful business in my opinion. Because like I'm like what am I valuing? Like it's just, it like so let's put it in basketball terms. Like if there's somebody who can, you know, shoot the lights out of the ball. I need a 3-point shooter, but his handshake is not firm. Like you don't think I'm gonna hire that guy? I'm not
Right.
gonna get the guy on my team. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like of course I want that guy on my team. I don't care how firm his handshake is. I care how many times he puts the ball in the basket from the 3-point line because that's what I need, a shooter.
Right.
Like I mean, it's just the concept of that is dumb to me. And maybe I'm a young guy and I'm not an old head and I don't understand the manners and manlyhood and respect. But that's another thing that on episode 5, the rant episode, that's something else that I can talk about that really just gets me.
Say that last part again. My AirPods are acting up right now. I'm not so sure what's going on. Say that last part you just said again. I had to disconnect them and reconnect them.
No, I was just saying that like on episode 5,
That's
like
better. Okay, okay. I was worried that your audio was like jumping in and out. It was my AirPods, man. They're killing me. But sorry,
okay.
go ahead. I promise I'm done interrupting. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, 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 you're good. No, I was just saying on episode 5, the rant episode official. That's what it's gonna be titled.
It is.
The
We
rant
we're
episode
I'm gonna title it something along the lines of like ranting at its
of ranting.
finest.
Yeah, ranting
Like,
at its finest. Like we need to let off all the steam before, Mr. Claus. What's his name? What's his real name? What's Santa Claus's real name?
It's Nicholas, isn't it? Nicholas Claus?
Yeah, Saint Nicholas.
Jolly old Saint Nicholas, right?
Yeah, but what's his first name? Does anybody know Santa's first name? Santa's
I
real
think
name.
it's Nicholas. I think it's Nicholas Claus, right?
No, 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 no.
Let's ask Siri. That's how you
Saint
solve your
Nicholas.
problems. Hey
Oh,
Siri,
Chris Kringle. That's what it
what?
is.
Oh, never mind. We figured out. Never mind,
Chris
Siri.
Kringle,
Forget that.
right? Saint Nick, Chris Kringle, whatever his
All right,
name is. Yeah, when he comes in
Siri, what
town,
is
like
Santa's
there can
name?
no longer be like this atmosphere of just like ranting and just heated moments. So I'm gonna let all the steam off right now.
Here we go. We got Santa Claus, also known as the Father of Christmas, Saint Nicholas, Saint Nick, Chris Kringle, or simply Santa, is a legendary character originating in the
Right.
Western Christian culture who is said to bring Christmas. It doesn't say what his name is.
Chris Kringle. We'll go with Chris
I
Kringle.
we'll go
Not
we'll go
Krampus,
with
Chris
Chris
Kringle.
Kringle.
Chrissy.
Chrissy boy.
Chris Kringle. Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
this is the one we got it. I disagree with you on this one. Look, PGs are great and they're comfortable and they're awesome.
Wow.
But
We're going full circle here.
hey, I don't mean to do this, but I look pretty good in a suit and tie, man. I do. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go suit and tie. I'm gonna have to go suit and tie. And plus, I already have to with sportscasting and stuff. I already have to wear one so much that like just kind of gotten used to it now. Like in the beginning, it was uncomfortable, and I didn't like the tie around my neck. It felt like it was too tight, all that stuff. But after wearing a suit and tie so many times, calling games, doing productions in the studio, stuff like that, I've just gotten used to it now. Like it's just gotten to the point where like I know what that, I don't even notice it now, honestly. It's part of it. I will say, I went to do my final for month one of sportscasting, and shout out to my teacher, Eric Rutledge. He's an incredible teacher. He was awesome. He came up at the last second
A big fan of
and
the On
was
the
like,
Court in the Booth podcast.
what?
A big fan of the On the Court in the Booth podcast.
Huge fan. Huge fan.
Huge fan.
Um, we were, I had just got to the desk and we were about ready to do my live highlight reel. And, my tie was like off to the side. It was like because I had walked around all day with it and stuff. I was the last person to go in our group, so I had time to walk around, high five guys, stuff like that, to where it had moved. And so he came over and he moved it over and he went like this, and I was like, like I was like, breathe for a second. But it looked great on camera. So if you look on camera, I'm like, oh, it's going great. And I'm like, for a second, I was trying to like move my neck out a little bit to get it to go just a little further. But no,
I can't breathe.
Right. I'm like dying over there while on camera, but no, it ended up being fine. But yeah, I would say suit and tie on that one. Next, would you rather that we've got here is this is an interesting one for me, and comes with a little bit of a story. So I have a friend down here named Ethan Asherman. He keeps his house at like, he says it's 73, but it's not 73. He keeps that house at 77 or higher without a doubt.
Guys.
Oh, every time I go in there, I'm like roasting. Like
guys.
I feel like, right. I feel like I'm 77 guys. I feel like I'm going to have a heat stroke every time I walk in his house. I'm like,
I'm saving 20 cents.
Right.
Okay.
All right. I'm one of the people that keeps my house overly cold though. So I can't really be overly critical because my house right now is set at like 68, 69 degrees, somewhere in there. Okay. So I keep my house really cold. So the question here, and I'll give my reasoning behind it in a minute.
These things, and I have no idea. I just kind of walk into my room, and if it's hot, I'm just like, man, it's hot. That sucks. And I don't even think about touching the thermostat or anything.
Oh, you don't ever turn it down?
I don't. I'm one of those guys. I just end up being cranky and just like not just being frustrated and not knowing that we have the technology to like make my life better.
So you room with Jaden, Caleb, and Brian, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Who controls the thermostat? I know you've said on here before that Brian.
I don't notice. I don't even know how to work this thermostat because I just don't use it.
So nobody really has. There's not really a person who controls it or anything.
Oh, there may be. I have no idea.
Oh,
I just don't know. Like I don't know.
I love it, man. That's awesome. So the question here: would you rather be too hot or would you rather be too cold?
Um, I forget what
You want me to go first? Because I've already got my answer, Rafe.
Oh, no,
I'm
I was gonna
locked
say
and
I
loaded on
think
this
my I
one.
think my grandpa summed it up one time when this question was brought up. He was like, "You can always put clothes on, but you can't always take clothes off." I think that's what he
Yes,
said.
yes, 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 yes. If I'm cold, I can put on a blanket, I can put on a jacket, I can put on more layers, and I will be warm. But if you're hot, you're miserable, and you just have to deal with it or
Yeah,
get naked. And it's
and
one of two
sometimes it's still
options,
hot. Sometimes it's still
huh?
hot.
It's
Sometimes it's still
sometimes it's
hot.
still hot. Like, yeah, I would much rather, like, I can't even explain to you, much rather be too cold than too hot because for that one reason. I love that your grandpa said that, and he could not have hit the nail on the head any better. He could not be any more spot on. It was perfect what he said. You can always put on more layers. Always. If you're cold, put on a jacket or wear a big put a blanket on while you're sitting on the couch watching TV. You can always warm yourself up. Always. But if you're hot, you're just miserable. Like, and there's nothing that you can do about it other than like I said, you can get naked. You can strip down and not wear clothes. That is the only thing that you can do to change it. And I think we lost Trey, but yeah, I've always felt that way. I agree with his grandpa 110%. It is so much easier to just be too cold. Being hot's miserable, absolutely miserable. So as we wait for Trey to get back on here, and he will present his, I'll give you guys a look ahead at the next question. Would you rather live in a cave or a treehouse for the rest of your life? And I think we're getting Trey back here. Heard the little ding. Boom, we got him back. Hey, where you been all my life? No, I'm just kidding. Can you hear me? Oh, I think we lost him again. Hold on. Oh, there he goes. Nope, he's back again. There he is.
It's the daily connection issues.
It always happens right around the 120 to 125 mark. If you notice, or 130, 120 to 130 mark. You ever notice that
Yes, I have.
of our
It's
show? It
very
always happens
frustrating
like right now.
at the very end. I know everybody's sad the show's about to end. I know. It has to end sometime,
Right.
but it's always the same mark where it's like, oh. But go ahead. Yeah, you're talking
We're good.
about
No.
you can always put more layers on, and
Yes.
I do think it's interesting. Like there is a phenomenon, and maybe I will. Maybe that's what my life needs to be dedicated towards figuring out why. Like you want to get, you know, you want to take off as many layers as possible at night and then put a blanket on. Like, why does your body want to do that? Like, why don't you just wear like a coat to bed or a sweatshirt to bed?
Yeah, I can see it. I just feel like if I
But
lay
no,
in bed,
you want to take off as many clothes as possible and then put a blanket on. Like that's what
yeah,
I think about. Like that feels perfect.
it
You know
does.
what I mean?
Especially no, the best feeling ever. I don't. This might just be me. If you've had like a long, hard day, we all have those, and you climb in bed, your day's finally over, and you get in bed and it's cold. Like the bed is cold. Like your
Yes, the
your
bed is
sheets and everything is
freezing. Like I
cold,
want to be freezing and I
dude.
want to have a blanket this
There
just
is
super like, like I want to feel like Santa in his vest or whatever, his red vest. Like that's the kind of fluffiness I want out of a blanket. And that's the type of sensation I want to feel every night I go to bed. While listening to that beautiful music that restream.
yes,
uh,
he's awesome. I introduced while we were trying to get you connected again. I introduced the next question for us, and it is: would you rather live in a cave or a treehouse for the rest of your life?
oh man, a cave or a treehouse? A cave sounds depressing.
It does. But think about it. When you get up there in age, when you're like, say, 70 and above, you're not going to want to climb in a treehouse.
No, that's when you jump out. You end it. Um, don't do that if you're above 70. Don't do that. That was a it was actually not a very good joke. Uh, it was actually
You
not.
just jump out and oh my
Just end it. Um, yeah, don't do that.
god.
That was not a
Don't
suggestion. I don't know where
don't
that
do
came
that.
from. Uh,
Don't do that.
yeah, don't do that.
Trey's like, I don't even know why I said that.
Yeah, that was an awful idea, like a horrible one. But like a cave, like that sounds
Oh,
like something I'd really enjoy. Just like being all lonesome by myself, get to do whatever I want. Like that sounds like a great life. But a cave just
when you mentioned that you loved quarantine so much, you would
love it,
get zero cell service in a cave. So
love it.
all the social medias, all that stuff that you hate would all be gone. It would just be out of
And
here.
and it's weird. And this is
You'd have your own
it's
quarantine
a
again.
little bit more psychological. But like if you ever seen Croods the movie, like the whole thing is how like they're kind of in this cave and then they never like know the outside world because they're
Yeah,
just
don't leave the
so
cave.
involved in their cave. And it's weird for me because like while I love to be I'm introverted in the fact that I love kind of being by myself. I also I'm I'm the exact opposite of a person that like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Doesn't like experiencing other cultures. Like I love experiencing other cultures and getting because what you'll find is there's a lot of people who like stay in that same town, that same like small town or whatever, and that's all they ever grown up. And those are the people that end up being kind of ignorant to other people's views or whatever. And so I'm not like that, or at least I strive to not be like that. But at the same time, I do love being secluded a little bit. So I'm kind of on the fence there. I would say I do like tree houses more than caves, just aesthetically. Um, yeah, and there's some pretty cool tree houses out there. So I'm going to pick the tree house.
You're gonna pick Treehouse.
And
I've
what's scary? The
what?
scariest thing is when I thought of that, and I thought of jumping out of the treehouse. I thought of Midsummer.
Dude, that
Do you
movie.
remember that? Do you remember when they jumped off? I can't believe I
Why did we
watched that.
watch that movie? Why did we
I don't
watch that?
know. All I know is you told me to watch that. You brought it
I
up.
hadn't
I
seen
was
it.
at your
I
house.
I hadn't at that point. I hadn't. Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Yeah, it was
If
a.
I
I no, I don't recommend that movie. I don't. It
I
was
I
a.
can tell
It,
you right now, I
who was it? Who was the
recommend
person? It
never.
was one of your friends. Sorry, I'm horrible with names. I know people. I don't know names. Um, who like was into that stuff, like
Caden.
movie productions. Yeah,
Caden.
like he
He
said it was a
loves like
really good movie.
yeah.
Like,
Well, Caden is like really big into filming and stuff.
yeah,
So it's kind of like me and you with like sports and stuff, where like we view it from a different angle than
mhm,
the average viewer of it. So
yeah,
when you see Steph Curry come off of two screens and hit a shot, you think, wow, that was a great drawn up play, and Steph hit a great shot. While a fan thinks Steph Curry's a crazy, all that stuff. When we watch movies, we think the same thing. Wow, this movie's crazy. It's all this stuff,
yeah.
Caden, like he's able to, his mind, he's able to break down the film
He's
from a
looking at the actual
cinematic
production,
perspective.
and yeah.
Right.
And so I guess that's what I'm gonna say from that perspective. And I don't know what it has on Rotten Tomatoes or any of the other, I guess, movie rating services or whatever. But it might have actually been a really good movie from that perspective. Like if you
Right.
like that type of stuff, that type of horror like
If you
genre,
like psychological horror
psychological
thrillers,
horror, like
it's
yeah,
the
it
greatest
might have
movie for you.
actually, yeah, might have actually been a really good movie. But like, I will never watch that movie ever again.
Never, never. I'm good. I've seen it
No,
once. That
yeah,
is all I needed.
yeah, that
I
was one
am
time too much. Like,
yes,
yeah,
yes. That's and like I said, I won't even we won't even go into detail on the stuff that happens in that movie. It's just
yeah,
it's a messed up movie. That's all I'll say. It's out there. That's for sure. And you know, it was crazy. That's for sure. Watching that movie, I would go with. Like I said I've been debating this the whole way up till my decision. Like I said, I would have to go in a cave. I always found caves really cool. Like just like these holes in the
your
earth that
whole
you can go
life
down
though,
in and stuff. Huh? Well, no, I suppose if you have a treehouse, you could put like an elevator in it, and I mean, you could deck out a treehouse.
I don't know. I don't know about the elevator action in a treehouse, but
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know
I
what
think,
type of treehouse you're living in, but the whole elevator action.
I mean,
Um,
I'm trying to think from a
but yes, you can
perspective of
you
like when
can
I get
you
older.
can always add on to a treehouse, but I don't know how much you can add on to a cave.
Yeah, I don't think you could.
There's only so many stalagmites and stalactites you can look at in a cave.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So there's only so many stalactites and stalagmites you can look at a cave. I love it.
That may have been the quote of the day, honestly.
That might have been
And
that
if you
really
don't know
well.
what those are the rock formations that stalactites are to the wall, or no, to the
Stalactites or
ceiling.
stalactites because they hang tight to the ceiling of the
Hang
cave.
tight to the ceiling. It's mighty
Stalagmites,
thing. Yeah.
stalagmites are stalagmites because they might reach the top.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously we had different cave guides, but yeah,
Um,
uh, that's
so
not how mine explained it. But
that's not how my guy explained it. um,
you're wrong.
our
I'm right.
right.
Yeah.
Our final would you rather for today is would you rather ride a horse or a dirt bike as transportation for the rest of your life? You got to ride a horse everywhere, or you got to ride a dirt bike everywhere.
Dude, you know how awesome it would be to ride a horse everywhere? Bro,
How inconvenient that would be.
that's yeah, that'd be super inconvenient.
Be
But,
annoying.
you know, in this fictional world, I have a horse keeper that feeds it and gives it all the love and affection it needs. Um, so I will probably take the horse just because you know how many motorcycle accidents there are? A
I lost you
lot.
again. My AirPods continue acting up. I don't know what is going on with these things. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You know what? Santa Claus, bring me a pair of AirPods so I can give it to Wyatt for Christmas. Um,
Anybody out there looking for a Christmas idea from Wyatt? These bad boys right here, some AirPods.
yes,
That's
yes.
yes. But anyways,
Um,
go ahead. Horse or dirt bike?
no, I was saying, you know how many bike accidents there are? Probably there are a lot of bike accidents in the U.S. And the only reason
Right.
it's bigger than horses is because there are no horses on the streets anymore. But I'm still picking horses over dirt bike. Just because it'd be
Really?
great. This could be great. I mean, imagine you roll up in your horse. Like, I'm hiring that guy. Unlike the firm handshake, somebody pulls up
My-
with the horse, like hops off a horse. Could you imagine you're riding a horse, he just hops off? Dude, you're hired. Like, you're hired. Like, you're on my team.
You would give him your job. Here is my job.
Yeah, like,
Have it,
actually, like,
please.
I just retired. Like, you have the job. Like, you don't have that job, not the one you're you're applying for. You have my job.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I would I feel like it would be so hard though if you had a horse to like take on vacation. Like I feel like it'd be so you're going to
Dude,
have
you're
to take
missing
off for a month.
you're missing the part where like I have a keeper that has all the love and affection and takes care of the horse for me. I'm just using it as a method of transportation.
Well, what if like would you ride a horse from West Lafayette all the way to southern Indiana?
Heck yeah, I would. Are you
That would be
serious?
painful. No, there's
Heck
no
yeah, I
way.
would. Are you
Dude,
serious? Heck
if
yeah,
I
I
saw
would.
you riding a horse, I would lose it.
Heck
It's the
yeah.
funniest thing.
I'll be oh my gosh. Can you imagine people be passing me like, dude, I'm beating you with a horse. Like, you know how crazy that is? Like, bro.
My- like a
on
Mustang
Google Maps,
passenger,
I
like
guarantee
Mustang
you,
is better.
Google Maps does not have like how long a horse takes to go from West Lafayette to Sellersburg. I can tell you that right now. Right now.
Oh, it's got like walk. It's got what is it? It's got like car walk, and then it's got
Yeah.
like the bus,
Like
and it's got
train,
biking. It's got
plane.
biking.
Yeah, it's got
I don't,
biking.
yeah,
It does
yeah.
not have horse,
No, that's
which
not
is
an option on
unfortunate.
there. It's not an option.
I mean, the ultimate horsepower. An actual
The,
horse.
the ultimate
The
horsepower.
ultimate horsepower.
How many
And
horsepower this
horse.
baby got?
Dude. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, think about it.
Hey.
Like you're driving in the middle of
You get on.
you're driving through Indiana and you see like somebody like you're just seeing cornfields around. You're like, oh, this is Indiana, bro. Like I can't wait to leave this state. It's like Radiator Springs. Like I just want to leave. And then like you see somebody pull up with a horse. Like you know how cool that is.
It makes it all better. You're like, I want to stay here forever.
Like you
Dude.
don't pay somebody. You don't go to New York and pay somebody to ride on their dirt bike. You go to New York and you want to ride a horse around the block.
All right. You hop on it and look over. The pioneers used to ride these babies for miles.
Yes, 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 yes.
The pioneers used to ride. The pioneers used to ride these babies for miles.
Listen. Horse or boulder? That's the real question. I would pick the boulder. You know how fast that thing was from SpongeBob?
Oh
Dude,
my
it got
God.
right there. It was so quick. It ran over Squidward. You know what scene I'm talking about?
Yes,
that thing was
yes.
flying.
Yes, dude.
And like, no, seriously though, horse or elephant? Bro, could you imagine riding an elephant everywhere? You know how cool that would be?
That's power right there. Nobody's getting in your way. Who's going to stop you?
You pull up with an elephant? Like, that is a pro move.
I love how you're sitting here going like this. I think you're riding it. Like, trying to get the feel of what an elephant's like.
Hey, how do you... What do the cops do when they pull you over on your elephant? How does that conversation go?
How do they get you to like license and registration, please? Like, they're yelling it up at you. You gotta like drop it down.
Yeah. You're going too slow on your elephant. Okay, buddy.
Okay.
Okay, buddy. Get back in your car. Go somewhere else. You're just mad. I have an elephant and you don't. Jeez. So yes, I'm taking the horse over the bike.
I think horse would be fun, but I just feel like taking a long road trip would be, that'd be hard on a horse. And I just feel like it would take so long too. You'd have to
you have multiple horses.
Oh, you're saying like you ride this horse?
You can trade
for this long.
Off. I mean, what are we doing here? I'm not gonna ride it until it's dead. 12-hour trip on my horse.
Keep going. It's like that one TikTok. Have you heard that one that went viral? And it's like the kid's talking to his grandpa. He's like, "I'm tired, Grandpa," and the grandpa's like, "That's too damn bad."
Yes.
It's like you on the horse. I'm tired, Trey. I don't want to do this anymore. That's too damn bad.
That's too bad. Yeah, that's right. Legs broken. Just keep on riding.
Just keep going. Mental toughness. Still it in the horse.
That's what it is. Mental toughness. That's what it is.
Oh,
you can be tired when you're dead. Okay.
You can sleep when you're dead.
Yeah, you can sleep when you're dead. Oh, I love it. That's another thing. That's another thing that just gets to me since we're on the ranting issues. People are like, I don't sleep. Okay, buddy. You don't sleep.
You don't sleep.
Like God slept. God slept on the 7th day, but you don't need sleep. Okay, buddy.
I love it. So we bring up the quote of the day. Man, you run the show on these. I am terrible at giving these quotes of the day. You've got 4 on here. We've got I'm basically a fortune teller. This might be my favorite from last week. Don't blame the player, blame the game, cheat the game. That was poetic. And then
I think
this one.
We could have used that earlier. I forget what we were talking about. I was about to say the same thing. I wasn't about to say the same thing, but I was about to mention that again.
Don't blame the player. This one?
Yeah, what were we talking about at the beginning of the episode?
We were talking
about the Santa Claus. Like which house would he want to land on? Like don't blame me, blame the game.
Cheat the game. Add 37 or 36 blow-ups in your front yard.
Kids out there, steal your parents' credit card and go buy blow-ups online.
Horrible advice.
36. And guess what? You will be getting double the Christmas presents. Don't do that.
Don't do that. All right, well, episode 5 on a wrap. It was a great episode. We have some exciting stuff coming up for you guys. We won't mention it yet because don't want to spoil it, but we've got some really exciting stuff coming up here on the court in the booth. And yeah, next couple episodes are going to be awesome. We've got a Christmas time episode and more Christmas coming up. And then,
Are
yeah,
we doing a special segment, Wyatt,
we're
for
going to do
Christmas?
multiple special
Multiple.
segments for
So
Christmas.
this is not the last time. We're gonna have a whole Christmas show experience for you guys.
Yes.
I don't know how long it's gonna be. We might pull. It might be a 24-hour on the court in the booth podcast. Wyatt's
Christmas
like, no,
Eve.
we're
We're going
not.
live Christmas Eve.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm going
Okay,
to hold
just
my phone. I'm going to hold it right here till Santa drops those presents right there.
right,
We will
right
watch
there.
him do it. We will
Yeah,
watch him do it.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. All right, man. Episode 5 in the books. We appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. We appreciate that greatly. And we will see you guys next time.
Yes. Yep, yep, yep. Leave a comment.